Hello, hi Rohit. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Sourabh. Thanks, Vivek, for calling me. And yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Sure. So let's start from there. Like you have recently joined a new venture. It's called PitaView. So, and I also read one of your posts where you said what the reason behind joining a PitaView. So I would love to hear it from you. What is the reason and why have you joined PitaView?
Yes, so PetaView, just to give you a brief of what the company does, it's basically an AI-based insights platform. What does that mean is we give you insights on your first-party data. If in the most crudest of language, if I can explain, it's literally, basically, your data stacks something like a Tableau on ChatGPT. So you can query your data across HubSpot, Salesforce, platforms everywhere. And that is where that is what the product does. It's much like how you would imagine Cursor for coding or Lovable for coding. The view is that for data. So that's how the product works. And yes, the reason why I joined PitaView, one is the personal reason, which is basically I've been friends with these guys for years now. I have known them for years. We built a company together, which was called Incent, and that got acquired into ZoomInfo. So that was like a great milestone in my career as well. And the other piece is the world was going AI, and I was a very heavy user of, like, I have paid out of my pocket for ChatGPT for the longest time, and I was doing like marketing use cases. I knew the disruption that AI will bring to this entire thing, and I didn't want to be left behind, and not really left behind, but I would rather wanted to be on the edge of this, riding this wave, learning new things, putting myself in uncomfortable situations. And since it is such a dynamic space, I think I thrive in such a situation, and that's why I joined PetaView. That's the answer.
Yes, I guess working with the team which already have had great success, that would be amazing. Again, working with them, right? So, based on like what we have heard, and everybody knows you in the SaaS industry amazingly well, and they know you that you are the one who have scaled marketing from 0 to 1 multiple times, and now many marketing gurus and everybody comes that whatever works at MARR and not 10 MARR or starting, it's very different. So, can you give me a playbook or just a brief idea on how founders or marketers should think about it, like at different milestones, or how they should treat different milestone? Let's say they are talking about 1M or 10M about it.
Yes. So I have written a few posts about it where I shared my thoughts, but this is how I'd summarize those or distill the most important pieces is in early stage, like right now, if I have to give you an example, or rather how it goes about is you cannot come with a playbook. That's the thing. That is the vagueness, that is the unknown that you need to be very comfortable with. And that is how you can work in early stage, because ideally when the first marketer joins, the product is either not at PMF or at very early PMF. And when the product is at early PMF, you cannot plan for 3 months, 6 months. You have to plan 2 weeks at a time, see where this is going and so on. Obviously, you invest in long-term strategies such as brand and content at the same time, but be very open to changing everything every 2 weeks. That's how it really works. I know that's not really a helpful answer, so maybe I'll give you a more example to illustrate that. So, for example,
Yes.
in my last company at Fleet Panda, when I joined, I joined post 1 million ARR.
Okay.
And that is where I knew who my customers were. I had case studies, I had content that I wanted to push out, I had customer interviews, I had product pages. The product was pretty much evolved. There was a very strong PMF there. And hence my playbook was, okay, I have things to play with. I have content that I want to create. So what are those skills and what is that team that I need to multiply this for whatever good that company has already done? But when
Okay.
I joined at PetaView, we didn't even have a product when I joined. Like, it was being built and customer interviews were happening, customer discovery was happening on what to build really, right? We obviously had a thesis, but then without customer feedback or without customer intervention, you cannot build a successful product. That is our core thesis. So our early customers have been design partners into this. And obviously you cannot do content marketing then. You cannot do branding then. I mean, brand bits and pieces here and there, yes, but do you really call it as a brand strategy? I would not. So what do you really do in the early stages is to figure out what your positioning is. Like, where do you really fit in the market? What is the customer really telling you? So for example, a customer interview comes in, okay? When a product manager will hear it, he will hear the product inputs from there. When the salesperson or when the founder hears it, he or she will hear the founder perspective, as in like where the business is going, what is the mission, vision of it. Hence, as a marketer, when you listen to that, you need to figure out what is my product positioning from here. Where is this adding most value? What are those? What is a website headline? Right, as simple as that. Those are the things that I really do in 0 to 1. Is okay, am I really listening to all of this as first principles and not with the overhang of being a marketer for 10, 15 years, whatever that is? Because when you come with a playbook, you are figuring out fill in the blanks to fill. That's
Correct.
not how it works. You get in. So where does experience count then? Anyone do early stage marketing, or why or can the founder himself or herself do the early stage marketing? The only place where I or somebody with an experience can bring in difference at the early stage is knowing the patterns that exist, finding those patterns quickly, and hence solving that problem that would take the founder to solve 3 weeks. You do it in 3 days or 2 days, and you find
Correct.
those patterns quickly, iterate quickly, take your decisions based on your gut and your confidence of the patterns that you have seen earlier. So ideally, if you if I have to summarize that answer, no, you should not come with a playbook, because early stage with pre-PMF playbook does not exist. And that is called pre-PMF because of a reason. You have to be very comfortable with the unknown, with the vagueness, and most probably lack of budget. And you
Yep.
should be very, very comfortable with getting your hands dirty. Even after like more than 11 years of experience, I'm writing blogs right now for PitaView. And I feel very good about it. I am not at all questioning that, oh, what I am doing, is this even good for my career? Nothing. Company needs something to get done, you could do it. That purview might be marketing because I'm a marketer, but that applies to all early stage employees.
But that is a
Understood.
great lesson for the, marketers as well, because as they, gradually go up in the ladder, as you said, after 11 years, you are just writing the blogs and you are very comfortable about it. But most of the marketers, as they gradually go ahead in the ladder, they think, oh, this is not my job. This is a very something that a content writer should be doing. I am the head of marketing, or I am the marketer. Why I should do? So it's a very good lesson for them as well.
Yeah. No, I totally believe that. Yeah.
So, on let's say PitaView or any early companies which you have joined previously as well, and there are already funded giants taking over the markets here, and they also everywhere you are trying to be at. Maybe it's Product Hunt, maybe it's Google Ads. So then, what's your strategy like? Because chasing their strategy won't give you it maybe at that place. So how do you see that where already the competition is super high and they are almost getting the market share at a big percentage?
I have to give you a very controversial example on this. When Arvind Kejriwal came in the Delhi elections, I'm sorry, this is not about supporting any particular party or something. I'm just giving you an
Yep.
example that more people will resonate, right? There was Congress, there was BJP, there are like multiple big political parties with unlimited budgets, unsurmountable budgets, right? And then this guy came in, had differentiated strategies, had a story to tell which was very different from what has been told for the past 50 years. That is what you really need in a startup. One, do you really have a point of view that is differentiated? Do you embody that point of view that people will believe you? And do you know the places where you can effectively tell that story? So, for example, in case of PetaView, we believe that static dashboards or better way to make dashboards is not the future of data or insights.
Okay.
The LLMs need to build dynamic dashboards. You need to be you don't need to learn SQL to get to data. That is an archaic way of doing things. The problem with the incumbents, usually, say for example in PetaView cases, the incumbents have unlimited budgets again, right? But what they are doing is they are creating process for making the creating products for making the current process more effective or more efficient. Are you and but we have a very differentiated point of view. We said post AI, the processes will change itself. You
Right.
don't need more efficient or better processes. You need new processes. You need new way of doing things. And that is how our point of view is. So essentially what you need to answer before you go on Product Hunt or LinkedIn, like what people usually take for marketing is, hey, now I'm a founder, I need to go on LinkedIn. What will you say on LinkedIn? What is that? What is your story? Right? So figuring out that story, figuring out why do you exist, right? The first question that you need to answer is, for example, if I launch a cosmetic brand or if I launch like a skincare brand today, the first question that I need to answer is, why does the world need another skincare brand?
Mhm.
And if you have a really good answer to that, that is the foundation of your story. I'm not saying, see, every month there is a new skincare brand. And then we have somebody like a Mama Earth or the Minimalist or whatever, three, four more, and not my expertise, but I'm sure there are a few skincare brands. I think Chemist plays a differentiated story, right? All of these guys are against incumbents like HUL and PNG.
Correct.
Again, unlimited budgets. That is where you need to be. You need to figure out your differentiated story. You need to figure out where those story can be told, and you need to just be very sure of it.
Correct. Let's take an example where, again, a similar brand has to make a position of itself in the market, competing with great folks, but has a marketer with just 5 or 6 years of experience. They don't have a marketer with a 10, 20 year of experience, right? And now, even if the marketer decides to do a different or an experimental thing, how would he or she prove that ROI to the founder? Like, and because look, founder could not be very easy to understand how that's going to work. So that ROI proven thing, because every time we work with a lot of marketers, just say, give me the number of leads that you will generate, give me something that I will say to the board, and then they will approve the budget. So how would this function there?
Okay. There are two ways of doing this, which has worked out for me. Again, out of marketing example is, if I tell you कि यार Bangalore में HSR में I'll build a apartment complex. Would you put 10 crore, 20 crore rupees in that? You're like, absolutely, because I know कि the
Bilkul.
day it will be built, the day it will be sold, right?
Right.
But I'll tell you कि I think in Bangalore, there's a need of a senior living complex where retired people whose kids live away or not with them or they have nobody to take care of, I need to build someone for them. So they're like, okay, let's start with 5 villas maybe or 5 flats and see where it goes, right? That is the analogy, which is if a channel has worked for somebody very similar in the market and you want to bring in and you want to invest some money in that, because the founders, see, whoever, like founders, CFO, anywhere, I think this founder marketer bout has been oversold by people who don't want to really understand how a founder thinks.
Okay.
Why a founder is really asking that question of how many leads does it get or what is the KPI and so on? Because he's not a marketer. He needs to understand why a certain activity is being done. So there's
Mhm.
only two ways of understanding it. Either you commit on the results, that basically shows the confidence that you have on the activity, or you tell me what are those 5 other people who are doing this, right?
Correct.
If both of these cases are not available, what you need to do is earn that confidence. How you earn that confidence is by starting small. Starting small reduces the risk, at the same time proves enough value in the early days to sort of increase the budget and make it a mainstream campaign or a activity later on in the journey. So that is how I do it. I do experiments all the time. Right now, I'm running an experiment with my growth guy.
Right.
At growth intern, really. Like so again, I told my founder, he's like, dude, we need to invest in growth marketing. There are multiple tool ideas that I have. There are multiple SEO ideas that I have. He's like, great. Can we get a consultant to do this? Because I don't think we are at a stage where we can afford a full-time employee.
Mhm.
That is how you need to think about it. So I had like a lot of people reach out to me for internships and so on. One guy really fit the bill. I gave him an internship and he's doing amazing. Now, when I want to build a growth team, I already have a proof of value. That is
Yes.
how I'll build him. And I think that this approach, in fact, I have had growth interns from my first job, which was literally
Okay.
like 6 months of experience I had. And now to more than 11 years, I still have a growth intern because that is how I build growth experiments. That is how I build my growth team. So yeah, that's the way you go about it.
And can you give me some of the examples of the growth experiment that you have done over the years, which were the most successful, let's say?
So over the years, I think programmatic SEO has almost always worked for me. Now, since entire SEO overall is changing,
Right.
that thing might not work for us now. So what we are doing right now, I'll tell you, is we are serving, say, the demand gen leads and RevOps leads who create reports every day or every week, right? Those are our customers at companies who spend, say, maybe more than $1 million in ads every year. That is where the real value of data unlocks. So in a crude manner, that is our ICP, right? Now, I am thinking of what are those ICP problems that we can solve using tools made by Replete and Lovable, made through Replete and Lovable. So one of the things that that I'm working on, it might go live in the next few weeks, is generate your report. So essentially, you have your data in your Excel sheet, upload this Excel sheet data to my Replete tool, and we'll generate the multiple dashboards out of it. Take a screenshot or download PDF and upload it into your slide deck that you use every Monday.
Correct.
Right? Now, this is something that is not PetaView related. This is not something that you need to buy PetaView for, but it's still very useful for someone who is on the journey to set up a more advanced data stack.
So
So
this is like targeting the
yeah.
right person, helping him solve the problems or which he is facing in somewhat related way of what PetaView is doing.
That's essentially like, see what content marketing is. The problem is content marketing is has been started to be measured by the outcomes that it brings, which is either traffic or leads or backlinks and stuff like that, which is good. But those are all input metrics. The reason why content marketing started in the first go was, can we create content that helps our ICP without even buying the product, so that they have a good enough experience for a long enough time, so when they need a product, they convert into a customer, right? Now, if you replace content and blogs with tools and PDFs and websites and whatnot, you're essentially on the same path. The form of marketing and content is changing. That's it.
Right. And like particularly that you said that you have been hiring the growth interns and the people who can work along with you. So adding just to this particular thing, can you also tell me more what generally the mistakes that founders make when they are hiring a marketer? Usually, a lot of marketers fall into this pit, like they hired a marketer, and for the 6 to 8 months, they have to wait for certain kind of result to see whether what's the plan that marketer has put in is working or not. So, what can be improved on the hiring side? How can a founder can make sure that he is betting on the right person?
So I can answer from two perspectives. One, again, I don't like people taking this kind of a marketer down who takes 6 8 months to show value. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's a time for that. So for someone who would hire, who you would hire after say post Series B, you need someone who thinks long term. You need someone who thinks about Gartner relationships, events, and conferences, and changing your brand on the website, because you are at a place where you are changing your orbit, right? So there's a place. The problem is people look at ships and they want to force it into a boat,
right,
right? So what you need to figure out when you're hiring a marketer, one, obviously, I think enough founders are smart. I think one thing is, when somebody really hires their first marketer or any first early stage employee, they usually go through the referral route. And hence
right,
that evaluation plus that entire hiring process is pretty personalized for them. But I think one of the things that has worked, or one of the things that has impressed me in the past, where I have not gone through it, but I've seen my friends use that process, is, can you consult with us for say 2 months and
Hmm,
see if we are a fit for each other, which is not just for the skills, but also from a culture perspective, also the kind of work that we want to do. Because see, a marketer, the saddest thing about marketing profiles is the median tenure of a CMO or a head of marketing is 18 months, right?
right,
The amount of time it takes to show the value of marketing is about that same time, right? So you have to, like, there are no long-term careers in marketing, and that's a sad part. So
right,
what we need to do is to really be sure about the person that we are hiring. It might a lot of people are just intuitive and they go with their guts. They're like, "Ha, is bande mein dam hai," kind of a thing, right? Or there's this way where you can actually evaluate for 2 months, pay them for the time, so they are also not being used. What do people do wrong is they ask a new marketing hire to create an entire marketing strategy, right?
right,
Dude, he does not have a context about your company. He does not have context about your budget. You will not be open with your funnel with him because he's an external person. You don't have a contractual obligation of data privacy and security. And then you expect that guy or that person to do their entire research externally and then create a marketing plan. And when they create a marketing plan, they'll come and show you, no, this is lacking context. Are you didn't give him context?
Correct.
hmm,
All the data that he has is external. So the plan
Yes.
will be surface level because he or she does not have the internal workings of your company. So if you're hiring for such a strategic role, rather, like, I have had founders who have hired me who have opened their entire HubSpot and accounting and RRR, ARR numbers to me before I even joined, right? They signed an NDA and they opened all of that and like, can you consult me for a month and then see what's wrong? One of the most interesting question was, hey Rohit, can you this is our instance. I have opened this for you. Can you just tell me the things that we are doing wrong?
hmm,
I'm like, sure. And this was not like a hiring conversation. It was more of a consulting conversation. And I did that for like 45 days. And then he came back, he's like, dude, I just love your suggestion and the transparency. It would be great to work with you because we are a transparent company. I just wanted to understand the kind of person that you are. Now, this was obviously by chance, but you can make that into a process. Why not?
And what are the things that you have highlighted that those people were doing wrong? If you can highlight on.
See, the problem with working so long in early stages, you are almost always direct. And Vivek knows me off camera. I am maybe one of the most direct people that you will find.
Yes, absolutely.
My thing is, there is no pride in ownership. If your work sucks, your work sucks. It's about the work. It's not about the kind of person that you are. If your HubSpot instance is shitty, it is shitty. It's not. It does not reflect that you're a bad founder or a bad person. It just means that your HubSpot instance is shitty.
Right.
That compartmentalization of work, feedback, and person. Like I can still hang out with you. I'll go with you for a coffee and so on. But I'll come back and I'll say, no, dude, this blog is shitty. Those two things, compartmentalizing that is the core structure of my feedback and my opinion. I don't make opinions on people. I make opinions on the work that they do. And I am very brutal about it. So that's how I cannot obviously go into the detail of exact feedback that I gave to the company or with what company this was. But this was my structure. And I don't hold back. If I'm talking to, obviously that comes with the years of experience and confidence. You cannot do that in your first, second, third year. But even like after a while, if you have enough confidence in yourself, you talk directly to the founder with the issues that you're seeing, even in his work and even in his feedback. And that is something that founders appreciate because they are also smart people. They know that direct feedback will help them and so on. So that is how I structure my feedback.
So,
So
with
yes, Vivek, go ahead.
so look, let's say you have worked also you said on programmatic SEO. So definitely, I believe SEO has been one of the channels you have been working on for quite a while. So let's say you have had an SEO team working pretty nicely, and the next day you wake up, you see this AI mode appearing on India and you North American market as well. So what then you say to your SEO team? Because currently a lot of folks are very much in ambiguous stage. I know what the answers could still be very much similar to what you're doing in SEO before, but still you have had an SEO team, a content team who knows all about how SEO was working. And suddenly this AI mode has appeared and it's saying that bots will visit, do the signups, book the demos, put the things on calendars, and nobody will read the content and everything. So you are at the front desk and the team is sitting in front of you. What are you going to talk to them at that moment?
Very interesting conversation I had with my founder today, where we were discussing about the future of marketing and marketers and so on, right? And it was just like half an hour ago. And I said, dude, I think I should also pick up lovable skills and create like these tools and landing pages myself because I also fear that what would be the skills of the future. And it's
Right.
like, dude, a marketer is hired to build awareness and convert leads. I will not keep you around, or anybody will not keep you around because you can whip up 5 landing pages in lovable. So if you pick that thought process and put it into the question that you asked, SEO was never about ranking on Google. It was about creating awareness through content, right? You optimized it for search engine because engine was the initial path of discovery. Will content go away overall? No, it will be a mix of. So when you think about AI mode and this search, sorry, LLM optimization or ChatGPT optimization that we talked about, I think you guys are more deep into that than me, is you are basically adding more channels to discovery. That doesn't mean that you go, the entire SOPs goes about. I'll give you an observation on top of it, right? If you include AI mode or if you just make like a few queries on Google and see this pattern for yourself, which is for all the informational queries, it will give you AI answers.
Right.
For the transactional queries, it will not. And that is by design because ads are their main way to earn money. They
True.
cannot let go of that very soon. Yes. Does this future exist 10 years from now? Who knows 10 years from now what does, right? Because you cannot predict that the way that this is going. But do you prepare as a startup for 10 years from now, or do you prepare like 3 months from now or 2 months from now? So there has to be a mix of you optimizing for long-term plan, which is, do I optimize for AI mode? Do I optimize for LLMs? Do I optimize for more channels that can crop up? Do I optimize for agents even? I'm not saying that you should not think about it, but should you just jump the ship on that? Like my website is just gonna be for AI agents. No, dude, the future seems very near. It's like that car camera, sorry, the mirror, car mirror thing that what the objects that seem closer are actually farther away and the other way around. So that is how it seems, right? Because we have been talking about AI agents for what, 1.5, 2 years now,
Right.
and we are still at a place where the operator by ChatGPT, I don't even want to talk about it, like how half-baked it was. So while it's all you should be on top of the news and the development in your industry, but you should not be swayed away by it. And you should rather look at the holistic picture on, and still for people who are doing SEO, right? You asked like if you're the leader and what would you say to a team? It's my responsibility to find those areas of opportunities in this uh, new avatar of SEO and realign the team to actually make impact there rather than just doing that same thing up and again. And I have been so sad to see SEO become so mechanized over the years, where it is just a list of things that you follow and you start
Yes.
ranking and stuff like that. I have never been an advocate of that, and that is something that I would still believe. And in fact, that is how this new world of SEO would look like, is truly helpful content around really focused keywords. And that is how you build your SEO profile and, and SEO muscle over time.
Absolutely. So you, so this particular thing makes us sad as well because we are mostly into the SEO thing as well. So what you just said, it becomes a list of the things that you have to do and no more a lot about how you can help the end user. That will definitely something that pinpoint the people who love SEO deep down. So when you talked about the AI mode and everything, so I would also love to understand from you, the new thing which is AI in the marketing. So how particularly this thing is particularly changing the overall marketing scenario. And I would love to understand what are the tools other than the casual, than the chat GPT and Claude type of tools. What are the other tools that you as a marketer using and what are the tools that you find the most effective?
Yeah. Uh, just another data point to the last question, which was how AI is changing it. So I think I would highly recommend this talk by the Cloudflare CEO, where he
Yes.
explained the ratio between crawls and visits. So it used to be 1:2, and now ChatGPT is like 1:1800 or something. And it's only going higher, right? And that is why
Higher.
they're introducing like bot stoppage on the Cloudflare level and
Paper
so
bot,
on.
they're also paper crawl kind of thing they are trying to
Yes,
introduce.
yes, yes. So that is something that would give you an indication into the future. Obviously, I'll be talking out of my guts if I say I know what the future is, but that gives you an indication of where it is going. Now, coming back to your question, yes, I use multiple AI tools for my own thing. I have Perplexity Pro, I have ChatGPT Pro, I have Cloud. I pay around $100 out of my own pocket every month just to use this these AI tools. I use Midjourney a lot. Use obviously Dali comes with ChatGPT Pro, so I use that as well. Then there are a few tools here and there. Just started, as I said, I just started using Lovable. I want to try it out for myself on how that works. But at this level, am I using verticalized marketing tools that will help me automate stuff already? I don't see that there in the market yet. Or maybe I'm ill-informed about it. If you might recommend that, I would appreciate. But I use the foundational models. I have verticalized them with context and with knowledge, like how we create projects inside of Claude and ChatGPT and then
Yes.
Perplexity as well. So I've created different projects for my use cases and I use them for it. But I have not yet, in fact, to be very fair, PetaView is not at that stage where I have enough workflows to automate even, because we are early stage where we don't want to be in a state of optimizing and automating before we really figure out what works. So it is by design that I'm not automating a lot of it. But yes, I absolutely, I'm a single person marketing team in a very fast growing company. So you could imagine that this would not be possible pre-AI, what I'm able to do right now.
So do you usually love to work as a single person marketer or with a big team of marketers?
Oh, dude, absolutely. Individual contributor over team any day. But the problem is you cannot really grow to your full potential until you start managing a team and you know how to manage people. But I'll tell you, it's not about the stress of managing people or the headache that the extra workload that comes with it. It's about just I love working with my hands so much that I love writing a landing page. I love writing an email. I actually love doing the tasks in marketing. And that is why I want to keep on doing it. It's not about me not wanting to talk to people or not really getting on calls and nothing. I actually love. In fact, I get on calls with people from other teams just to understand how they're working, what's happening with them, and so on. So I love working with people. I love managing team, but I love doing like I am so excited that I have to create a landing page today of our MCP product. I'm so excited about it that I need to read, I need to write that copy. I love copywriting. So I need to write that copy. I need to get that landing page up. I need to think about the design and so on. So I enjoy the process so much that I love being an individual contributor. Whenever I get a chance, I just get my hands dirty and I start doing things.
Absolutely. So you talked about working with a team. I would love to understand, how you have worked with team at different growth phases, right? So
Yeah.
what are some of the tactics, the marketing tactics that you have seen, which works at, let's say 50 people team size, and how they change when it comes to 500 or 5,000?
Yeah. See, in fact, I will also tell you what works at a 5 people team, which I think I told you, which is the early stage version. At 50 people, what really starts happening is you have clear playbooks of what works. So how I think about this is marketing is basically broken into two pieces, which is one is the fodder and the other is the engine. Fodder is everything that you create. So it might be landing pages, ebooks, content, webinars, and stuff like that. And then engine is the channels that work. People usually measure fodder with channel KPIs. So for example, they measure a well-written blog by the traffic that it gets. No, it's a fodder. Channel is the SEO and the email marketing and the social media marketing on top of it. So at 50 people company, you have identified your fodders and channels really well. And you are owning or you are hiring experts. So till that 50 people company employee range, you are having very smart generalists who are taking care of 2 or 3 functions at once.
Okay.
But once you figure out enough patterns and you know that something works, you start hiring specialists for it. So that is the 50 people level team structure where you have specialists for all of these small channels and functions and sub functions that people might own, and you have clear KPIs defined for them. And that is how it works, right? At 500 people stage, you have at least 2 tiers of team, if not 3, where you have team leads for everything, which is a product marketing lead will be there. They'll have their own team. You'll have a content marketing lead where they'll have their own team. So you are basically managing people and they are managing people and maybe a few interns under them. So it's like a 3-tier team. And you are now more like a choir manager, like orchestra manager, that with both hands, they move the music around. So now I'm playing a harmonium. Essentially, at the first stage, you are playing a harmonium. At the second stage, you hired a great harmonium player and then you moved on to singing. And at this stage, somebody is singing, somebody is playing a harmonium, somebody is playing a tabla, and you are with that entire orchestrating, like putting things around and getting a great song out there. That's how it changes.
I think it's a great analogy to say how things or how teams work differently at different team sizes.
Thank you.
Yep. So let's say we have a 5-10 member team and you're hiring another folk. Now we have talked about hiring somebody senior and giving them, let's say, 2 months of time to do the consultation part before you trust on your gut feeling or something. But give me a question or something that answer of that question, you will directly reject somebody if somebody answer. Like, is there a question which is kind of a, very decision maker question for you that, so that will help you decide that no, I may or may not go with him, but I definitely will not go with this person.
I usually ask this both sides, which is if I'm working with a founder, if I'm evaluating a job opportunity that I want to take, or if I'm offering it to someone who I want to hire, is say 18 months from now, this entire thing has massively failed and you are being fired. So when I ask it to founder, I say if I am being fired, what are those top 3 reasons why that would happen? This shows how much self-aware the candidate is and how much self-aware the founder is.
Yeah.
So this shows how much he understands the market, what if the role really has, what are the failure points that it can really go bad, and if he is transparent about the challenges that are actually there.
Right. And I
So
was
this is
listening to
my
the
one go-to question.
Yep. I was listening to a podcast, Fast Forward, and there was a similar question on how much time you will give to a marketer. So there was a debate on B2B versus B2C. Like B2B, you might give like 18 months, as you said, but on B2C, the discussions were about on, let's say, 6 to 8 months. So what's your POV on that part? This time to marketer to prove the success or ROI, how would that differ in an organization as they differ in B2B?
I would not muddle the water by giving a thumb rule because this is not a thumb rule question. I would rather say the expectation from a marketer, right? What did you have? So, for example, one of the companies that a very close friend works at, the expectation of the founder is very clear, where he said, "This is not a product in a market where marketing can build pipeline, but I need you to build an absolute amazing brand even from the day one, right?"
Okay.
For me, it's been a number of times it's been, hey, we need pipeline. You are here for the pipeline. We don't care about the brand. We'll care about the brand when we have enough money in the bank, which is say around the 500K revenue and so on. But you need to be responsible for bringing the leads from 100K to 500K, and you will be evaluated there. So one of the problems that I see, because a lot of founders are not that well versed in marketing, and marketing is not a black and white. So see, if I say this a number of times. If you could measure everything in marketing, then this function would have been long automated already. The reason why marketing has not been automated is because there is a sense, there's a huge chunk of art and vagueness in this. So, but the downside of that is at times the expectations in the founder's head is also not clear. That they hire a marketer because their investor or their peer group or whoever consultant told me, hey, you are 20 people team already, you should absolutely get a marketer. What would that marketer come and do is not clear in their head. And they realize 6 months later that, oh no, I would have wanted this guy to do X because there's
Yes.
a marketer. He is doing 10 different things. So now you also get exposed to, okay, what marketing can really do. So now you bring or you talk to the peer group again and they say, hey, this guy is doing these things. Is this correct? And then the peer group says, no, no, this is not correct. They should have done something else, right? And that is where it sort of falls apart. So that is why that expectation alignment, and this is not a one time exercise, by the way. Like this should be done pre-hiring. This should be done, in fact, every 2 weeks, every month at least, where the expectation should be clear. The founder should, or whoever is managing, should say very directly what they expect out of the marketer. The marketer should push back, align on the expectation, and then deliver. That's how a long-term career and at least like a good experience can be had.
Can you tell us some of the resources to the marketers where they can learn from at this point of time where learning is very, top notch? They have to be at the edge of learning. So, what are the resources that you follow as a marketer to learn?
So there are a few, and I'll tell you the reason. So whenever things are turbulent, right, you should always go back to things that have stood the test of time, which is really good marketing books. And
Okay.
I revisit them and I recommend them all the time. So the few books that I would recommend is, I think there is Alchemy by Rory Sutherland. That is absolutely highly recommended. Then you should read Six Principles of Influence. That is amazing again. Then you should read Never Split the Difference. That's another really good book. Then there's this book called Different by Yummy Moon. She's a Harvard professor. She wrote about branding in real terms and how brands stand out. So those are the books that you can start with. In terms of podcasts and essays, I absolutely love HubSpot CMO's podcast on which is Marketing Against the Grain.
Yeah.
I think very tactical use cases, very helpful. There are Substacks that I follow in terms of I read the newsletter called Every.2. That's a very good newsletter if you're interested in the intersection of AI and marketing. And there's a podcast again called AI and Marketers. It is, you can find it in any podcast app and you'll like it. Those are the few top of my mind content pieces that you can refer.
Sure, I think that would be really helpful.
Yes.
So, I
Yes.
think
Thanks
we
a
are.
lot for your time.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Rohit, today. I think some of the great answers that we have got, we also got to learn a lot. So thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to have more conversations with you.
Absolutely. Love talking to you guys. And all the best. Thank you so much.